the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. Waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I
BetUS, America's favorite sports book, where you can bet on everything anytime. Sportsbook, live betting, and casino. To celebrate 30 years in business, we have the best bonuses in the industry. Get a 125% sign-up bonus and up to 30 risk-free bets. So what are you waiting for? Join now. BetUS, where the game begins.
Don't get scared. Don't get scared. Do not get scared of the idea of Baker Mayfield coming to the Miami Dolphins, because he is a better option than Tua Tagovailoa. Truth is, not by far, but he is a better option because he can do things that Tua can't do. Let's just call it what it is. We're going to break that down and more. I know they're not going to like this one, but the truth has to be told. And we got to talk about all the options the Miami Dolphins have, because I continue to get sick to my stomach just thinking that this team will commit $50 million a year to a quarterback who hadn't proven nothing in the NFL. $50 million. Like, for real? Come on, man. Anyway, man, this stream is being powered by BetUS. Receive a 125% bonus. The link is in the description of the video. Also, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check out BetUS's casino. If that's your flavor, make sure that you check it out. They got blackjack, roulette, the slot, some of everything, all right? Supporting our sponsors is supporting the channel. Let's go ahead and dive right into this. Let's get this straight first and foremost. Baker Mayfield is a better quarterback than Tua Tagovailoa right now, okay? Baker Mayfield has had his ups and downs, but at the end of the day, we're not judging quarterbacks off of their past because we're talking about Tua Tagovailoa. Because if we judge him off of his past, he shouldn't even be in the NFL right now. And Baker Mayfield actually made a turnaround this year. And when you look at Baker Mayfield's numbers, they're comparable with Tua. Now, Tua threw for 600 more yards than Baker Mayfield this year. That's it. Same touchdowns, less interceptions with Baker. Less interceptions with Baker. And also with Baker Mayfield, you get a mobile quarterback. You get a guy who can extend plays and make plays. He isn't the top-notch mobile quarterback, but he has a whole lot more mobility than Tua Tagovailoa. He has intuitiveness. He can improvise. He can make plays off script. And why did this option even come up? I was on Gen Z earlier with Dan Mitchell, and he proposed this. And at first I was like, but then I thought about it. Dang. Baker is better than Tua, but not by far. But this ain't really about so much of being better than Tua, not by far. It's really about the fact that you could probably get Baker Mayfield on a contract that only pays him $27 to $30 million per year. And you can get a 2-year out. We're talking about a better quarterback with an out and the ability to potentially save $20 to $25 million a year. Have y'all thought about the fact that you could get Baker Mayfield for 30 and Tua's asking probably for 50? Have we considered that? That you have a guy who's actually slightly better. Because from a passing standpoint, I would give Tua like a 8.5 and I would give Baker like a 7.5. But in mobility, extending plays, intuitiveness, and able to make something out of nothing, I give Tua a 5 and I give Baker an 8. So they're like equal quarterbacks, and I give Baker the nod because he's not stuck in this little box where he can't go outside of it. He at least has 1 or 2 more attributes that can help in his tool belt in games where teams are shutting what we're trying to do down. But again, the big factor here is we're talking about a quarterback who isn't old. He's only 7 years in the league. Who we could get on an annual for about no more than $30 million a year, but yet we're out here talking about extending Tua long term and giving him a contract that's going to pay him $50+ million a year. Make it make sense. So I put it on Twitter, right? And this is what I did on Twitter because this is about keeping people honest. Let me show y'all what I wrote on Twitter. Offer Tua a 4-year, $120 million contract with $70 million guaranteed. So what that is a $30 million a year contract for 4 years, but you only guarantee 70, which gives you about 2 years and a little bit of guarantee. If he declines, trade him so you get an asset for him. Sign Baker Mayfield in free agency on the same deal. Remember, we won't have to trade for Baker. This is just signing him in free agency. No draft capital wasted. You're actually bringing draft capital into Miami by trading Tua and just signing Baker outright. Sign Baker Mayfield in free agency on the same deal that you offered Tua. It's cheaper than $50 million for Tua, and now we can afford to sign Christian Wilkins or a combination of Connor Williams, Robert Hunt, Andrew Van Ginkel. Baker has similar numbers to Tua. less interceptions for Baker, but more yards with Tua. And I made people vote, and I gave them two options. The first option was amazing idea, team first, because this move would put the team first. And then I put heck no, Tua over the team. So we got 71% of the people, so far 120 votes. We got 71% that says amazing idea, team first. We got 29% say heck no, Tua over the team. Now, what would we be losing if we got Baker instead of Tua? What would we be losing? Because now I'm finna troll y'all a little bit, some of y'all. What would we be losing if we brought in Baker instead of Tua? Please tell me what would we be losing. And we'll be able to trade Tua because the Giants need a quarterback, the Commanders need a quarterback, the Patriots need one, the Vikings need one, the Steelers need one, the Falcons need one, the Panthers still need one, the Raiders need one, and we'll make the Bucks need one. What would we be losing if we signed Baker over Tua? You can't say accuracy because Baker won the accuracy challenge at the Pro Bowl. Baker won the accuracy challenge at the Pro Bowl over Mr. Accuracy. And he won the Pro Bowl MVP, by the way. What would we be losing? Obama's fan base? Well, that's a win-win then. Don't say I really hate Tua. We having a real conversation here. Please tell me why the Dolphins would be worse off if they got Baker instead of Tua. The truth is, instead of saying you hate Tua, answer the question. I know the Pro Bowl nonsense. I'm just trolling people. Come on, somebody, one of y'all who say I just hate Tua. Answer the question. Please answer the question. But you can't. Because the truth of the matter is, this actually might be an upgrade for the Miami Dolphins as a team overall. Because now we got a guy who is shown to be a playmaker who can extend plays, who could throw off script and make plays, who can escape pressure. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. I never thought about this until today when Dan Mitchell brought it up. I was immediately, I'm like, then I was like, hold on, Baker. Because I've always written Baker off. Now, the truth of the matter is, I'm not saying Baker is the answer to win a Super Bowl in Miami. The problem is, as a fan, you want to do everything you can just to improve the roster to be better. If we brought Baker in, I still probably would be nitpicking and saying, see, Baker don't do this or Baker don't do that. I don't like that Baker don't do that. It's just the reality. But is it still an upgrade? Yeah, it puts us closer to what we're trying to do. Billy said TD troll us every offseason with quarterback acquisition talk. What's been holding us back every season? So what do you think we're going to talk about every offseason? Y'all know what time it is. This offseason ain't going to be about nothing but Tua. Until that man signed that big deal. And when he signed that big deal, if he does, then it's still probably going to be about how crazy they was to do it. Because what else can you do around him? What can you really get around him? How can you make the roster better now? With your first or second round pick, the late picks, hoping that Chris Greer hits, hoping that whoever you draft, they're a day one starter. Like, come on, make it make sense. What you going to draft a left guard in the first round at 21? Maybe. Then he might be a starter. But what? You going to draft a middle linebacker and move on from Jerome Baker and just skip Channing Tindall? Like, what are we doing? I just don't understand why so many people are so scared to get better. Why some people are nervous and scared to get better. Yeah, I know, Bree. People say Baker's trash. What makes him trash? Tell me the things that he doesn't do well that Tua does. See, when we have these conversations, most of the time it actually goes silent. You know why? Because they know it's true. And they hate these talks even more. So then you hear things like, this guy's a clown. Thank God you're not the GM. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. You're crazy to even think that's an upgrade. But no explanation or reason why it wouldn't be. Baker Mayfield is a better quarterback than Tua Tagovailoa right now. Period. Period. Because we're allowing small sample sizes to take over like Tua's small sample size. Baker this year turned it around, small sample size, but it still shows a potential better than Tua. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It's obvious that this would actually be an upgrade. See, when I view Tua Tagovailoa, I put him at like a lot of times I like to put him at a 6.5, but I'm gonna give him a 7 now as a quarterback. Baker's been playing at like a 7.6, 7.7. Now I wonder how Baker would do with Tyreek Hill and Waddle. I wonder how Baker would do with a running game of Mostert and Achane. I know he'll be able to handle the lack thereof on the O-line better than Tua Tagovailoa. And I know that he don't have as many senseless turnovers as Tua Tagovailoa. I think he had 10 picks this year. Tua had 14. Yeah, Baker had 10 in the season. Tua 14. Tua had 29 touchdowns. I think Baker had 28. Baker threw for 4,026 yards. Tua threw for 4,600. It's the 600 more yards with Tyreek and Waddle. The reason why I'm so passionate about this, and I'm so glad somebody just said that in the chat, said, think outside the box. Change is now needed. See, I hate that the Miami Dolphins are always too late. We all think that the proper thing to do is just keep moving forward, right? Like Dan Marino said today, he thinks that Tua can win a Super Bowl with the Miami Dolphins. Well, I'm sure he said the same thing 35 years ago about himself. We wait till it's too late. He said all Tua has to do is continue to progress. And he's done that. Stop, Dan. We know he progressed, but that man done exceeded his ceiling. And we all know it, and you know it too. You're just hopeful because you also vouch for him. Breon said, you said 30 million. I think Dolphins can get Baker for under 30. The reason why I say 30, Bree, is to guarantee to get him. And here's why. Because Spotrac has his value right now at 27.5 million on a 4-year deal. Now, some people like, well, Spotrac doesn't think he's worth 50 million like Tua. You don't understand how Spotrac work. They also consider your age and how long you've been in the league. They know that a quarterback coming fresh off of a rookie deal with the first round pick, they are set to be in that setting of market in the upper echelon of money. That's typical. That's why they have Tua at what he had. And also, Tua was a Pro Bowler and a passing leader. So those are the things that's factored in the Spotrac. You can be a better quarterback with a less value on Spotrac, just giving your age, how many years you've been in the league, how many teams you've been on. All of those things are factored in. See, what will happen with Baker Mayfield, you get a discount because you're playing off of the fact that his contract expired. And he has the 1 year of good play for the Bucs. Now, the Bucs have made it clear that they're probably going to try to re-sign him. Try to. That's why he's a free agent. So he's going to listen to offers. And the truth of the matter is, a lot of these teams are going to contact Baker Mayfield. The Giants, the Commanders, the Patriots, the Vikings, Steelers, Falcons, Panthers, Raiders, Bucs, whoever ain't at the top of the draft, a lot of them are going to contact him. See if they can work out a deal with him. It's going to be his choice where he wants to go, but Miami could easily win him over all of them unless they get outbid. Because I'm going to be honest with you, it's going to be tough for the simple fact when the draft happens, the 4 or 5 teams that's left out of the quarterback race, now they got to deal with the Kirk Cousins and the Bakers and all of that. They're going to try to scramble to get those guys. And then you're going to look at Baker. He might get a $40 million deal somewhere on a 2-year contract or something like that. I don't know. But if that doesn't happen, the Miami Dolphins have to be willing to be open to go ahead and offer Tua a team-friendly contract, because at the end of the day, they love Tua. They don't want to come off of Tua. They know that signing him on a long-term deal with a high number, they don't want to do it, but they know that they're going to have to do it. But the thing is that the Miami Dolphins need to realize is you only do that if you don't have other options. And the truth of the matter is there's actually other options. And now I'm starting to realize there are better options. You're not downgrading with Baker Mayfield. And you can save $20+ million by going with him. Look at this. Somebody on Twitter right now in the chat saying Baker is not that good, TD. He's only had 2 good seasons. If he was that dude, the Browns. How many good seasons has Tua had? Yeah, like do y'all be thinking about this? How many good seasons has Tua had? So what are we talking about? We're talking about upgrading the Miami Dolphins, even if it's slightly, and cheaper to where we could keep some of our players. The most appealing part about this ain't even the quarterback. It's the money that we might be able to re-sign Robert Hunt, Connor Williams, and Andrew Van Ginkel. All 3 of them might be able to be re-signed for the money that we could save potentially. And those saying Baker is older than Tua, it doesn't matter. In today's NFL, you might automatically put a quarterback's life, if they're good enough, is 20 years. He's only 7 years in the league. He could play for another 10+. Age isn't a factor right now. Age doesn't become a factor until a quarterback's been in the league maybe more than 12 years, and then you start to wonder. But Baker done been in the league 7 years. 7. Y'all acting like he Aaron Rodgers. Y'all acting like he's Jared Goff and Stafford, like 10-year guys. Age has nothing to do with it right now, other than the fact you could save a little money. And I like that point, word of mouth. And he used to playing in cold weather. Maybe he better because he been in the sun more. And Tua has only played 1 full season, and he just recovered from career-ending injury. Oh, and what's the point? He's had two years, solid years worth of football. And let's stop this narrative of Tua ain't played more than 1 full season. Last year, the man sat out, 2 regular season games? What was it, y'all, at the Green Bay? Green Bay was Christmas. We only had 2 more regular season games. I ain't even counting the playoffs. We talking regular season. He missed 2 games. Stop that mess. Stop that mess. 2 regular games. He played that year. That's why I don't even understand why he was even eligible for comeback player of the year. You missed 2 games and you eligible? Three games. Okay, 3. I guess. But I'm not counting the playoffs. I'm not counting the playoffs. And y'all act like I'm saying get rid of Tua. I'm telling y'all, offered him a 4-year, $120 million deal, $30 million a year. I'm saying offer Tua the contract. And if he take it, all right, let's move forward with him. At least we got him at $30 million. And at least we can afford to try to keep stuff around him to keep trying to make him look decent. But he's not going to accept $30 million a year because his agent feels like he can get him over 45. His agent believes that. And as I continue to watch the film from this season, man, I get so much more and more discouraged about Tua. If things ain't perfect and the defense doesn't lay down and give you everything, he doesn't look like a good quarterback, man. I'm getting more and more discouraged as I'm watching this film. And this is the offense McDaniel built for him. And this offense is just pathetic because of the limitations that it can operate. Baker would cost between $27 and $30 million pretty much. The Spotrac got his estimation at 27 and a half. And the crazy thing is, Miami would actually get some draft capital back if they were to trade Tua and go sign Baker in free agency. So you upgrade the quarterback position. You might even get a first round pick for Tua. Like think about it. And now you also got the money that you save from a long-term deal where you can sign some of your core guys that you're about to let walk in free agency now. You can sign those guys. And honestly, Baker with McDaniel, that might actually even be that's interesting. Bucks aren't letting Baker go. They don't have any control over his rights. He's an unrestricted free agent. Now they can offer a big deal and lock him in. I get that, but he's going to test the open market. We'll see how that goes. You can't bring him in on a 1-year prove it deal word of mouth because he just proved it on a prove it deal in Tampa. He just proved it. Now he wants to get his 4-year deal. Who gives up a first for Tua? One of those teams that lost out in the draft and free agency. Soon as they draft them top 3 quarterbacks, you're going to have like 5 teams left that didn't get a quarterback. They may have got one, but later, and now they still need a good starter this year. And then as soon as Kirk Cousins go off the board, soon as Baker goes off the board, oh yeah, trading for Tua might happen before both of those moves anyway. Glenn said franchise him. Franchise who? Franchise who? Baker would love to be tagged. Yeah, of course he would, because he gonna make 40 something million dollars if they tag him. It'll be more than the annual that you can get him for. So I don't see Tampa Bay doing that. And don't forget, Tampa's still recovering from Brady. Financially, they're still recovering from Brady. Matter of fact, it makes me want to go look at his contract from this year. Let me see something. What was Baker? Baker signed a 1-year, $4 million contract this year. You see what I'm talking about? A 1-year, $4 million contract. And you know what's even funnier about that? They restructured even that they actually wait, hold on, let me see something. 1-year, $4 million contract, including 2.8 signing bonus, 4 million guaranteed, and an annual, right? And they restructured it so that they only had a one. Listen, he was on a 1-year deal, right? They restructured the $4 million so that he was only a 1.7 million cap hit last year. And now they got 2.3 million dead cap going forward, and he's no longer under contract. It's all dead cap for the next 4 years. Dead cap for the next 4 years for them. It ain't much, but they even move that money because they're recovering from Brady. Let me look at that real quick. Watch this. Tom Brady. Let me put his in. Oh, I went the wrong way. Let me see how much Tom Brady cost them $35 million this year, and he didn't even play. Tom Brady was a cap hit of $35 million this year for the Bucs. They had to eat $35 million for Tom Brady, and he wasn't even on the roster. Y'all see what I'm talking about that dead cap later on, how they push the can? And the only way that you condone doing it is if you win a Super Bowl and you're kicking the can and you know you're going to suck later. But the shocking thing is they were still competitive and made the playoffs and all this year and won in the first round. Why? Because they brought a quarterback who was making $4 million, only a 1.75 million cap hit, and they got way more out of him. So I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, they're gonna try to re-sign Baker, and they may actually give him a bag. As I look at it now, because they wanted to go ahead and eat Tom Brady's dead cap and be done with it, and they did. They ate it. But they could do that if they got a $4 million quarterback. But lucky them, he ended up proving that he can be a starter in the NFL still. Interesting. So the former first round number 1 overall pick, and I was wrong. Hold on, it's saying Baker. Hold on, is this correct? Yeah, Baker's only been in the league for 6 years. Somebody said earlier, the homie said it's been 9, but no, you're incorrect. Baker been in the league since 2018. 4 years with Cleveland, 1 with the Rams, and now Tampa Bay. 6 seasons. Only 2 more seasons than Tua, so I don't want to hear nothing about no age. 6 seasons, about to go into number 7. I thought he completed 7. It don't suck for the Bucs. They're in a perfect position. They were able to still be competitive, continue to survive, and also win a playoff game and go to the playoffs while still eating Tom Brady's $35 million dead cap. Interesting. Nah, well, he may. I don't see where he paid for the Panthers, unless it was like a mid-season trade or something like that. But yeah, I'm not seeing that. No, he didn't. Hmm. Well, maybe I'm wrong because as I'm seeing right here, Baker only started 16 games this year, not 17. So that's interesting. He only started 16 games this year out of 17. I guess the reason that's interesting is because he averaged 238 yards a game. So technically, he could have thrown for 4,300 yards if he would have played all the games, started all the games. Mm. It's his best year as a pro. Looking at the statistics, this was his best season as a pro. You could debate 2020, but overall, in my opinion, this is his best year as a pro. Yeah, interesting. He played for Panthers, then moved to Rams. I see that. I see that now. I see that now. Um, yeah, because he played 12 games that season. So it wasn't an additional year, it was in the same year. So that's why people giving him more years than he actually played. Now you could, Steve. I knew what time it is, bro. And if anything, thanks for looking out, just in case you see an error, bro. And Baker only left Cleveland because of Watson. I don't know about that. They were moving on from Baker because remember that year they had all those weapons and he didn't do so well. You know that his last year in Cleveland he threw for 3,000 yards. Now remember he only played 14 games. He missed 3 games. I don't know if he got hurt or what. Um but he had 3,000 yards, 17 touchdowns and 13 picks. And I remember they weren't happy about the 13 picks. And I don't know why. Tua threw 14 this year. What up, cuz? I love what you're talking about. Baker Mayfield is better than Tua, especially in the playoffs. He won playoff games unlike Tua. And the crazy thing is, when you look at Baker's numbers, at the end of the season, they start getting better. He was always 200 yards a game. And at the end, like the last 6 games, he got multiple 300-yard games, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I mean, it's like he got better as the season went on. Now, again, I got to dive in, look at some film, look at behaviors, see if, how it looks from an overall standpoint. But I think that the Miami Dolphins need to keep options like this securely on the table. Because at the end of the day, as I keep saying, it's team over player. It's team over player. It's that simple. So keep your eyes out this offseason until Chris Greer get that multi-year deal, which I'm gonna tell you, is they're gonna do it and it's gonna be dumb because they're pressured to do it. They're terrified of not doing it because just in case they're wrong. But they don't think about the fact of what if you do it and you're wrong. But what's on their side is the media. Everyone's saying now, yeah, I think Tua's done enough to earn his contract. He just has to continue to get better. Why are we giving a multi-year $50 million a year deal? I don't care if it's a $40 million a year deal. Why are we giving that to a player that still needs to continue to get better? These guys out here getting deal because they proved I'm that dude and I'm your future. And we out here talking about Tua just needs to continue to progress the way he has. What? You think they talk about Joe Burrow needs to continue to progress. Patrick Mahomes need to continue to progress. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, they ain't talking about continuing to progress. Continue to get better. We've seen improvement. No, you've seen numbers go up. That's what kills me. You've seen numbers go up. Not behavior. Not skill. There ain't no improved skill. There ain't no improved behaviors, no improved processing, no improved capabilities. You just saw the numbers go up. And that's what the scheme has done for him. Exactly. Herbert ain't win nothing and nobody's saying that. They ain't even, CJ Stroud is a rookie and they ain't even saying that. He just needs to continue to progress. Most people are like, well, he may fall a little next year, because he was so off the charts. Tua ain't get better every year. His numbers has. His numbers got better every year. That's what got better. I would only give Baker $20 million. See, what you got to understand about the Baker contract too is this, ladies and gentlemen. If you did the 4-year deal with $70 million guaranteed, you're only locked in for 2 years. So if he doesn't play well this year, he got 1 more year and we could move on. No dead cap. $10 million in dead cap with 2 years remaining, $5 million. Easy walk away. But Tua, he's going to be looking for a 5-year deal. His agent going to be looking for nothing less than 3 years guaranteed, which means you're on the hook for 4 years because you picked up his 5th-year option. Because remember, the contract really don't kick in until after the 5th-year option year. You can spread it with the early money in the 5th-year option, but the new contract technically don't kick in until the extension after the 5th year. So you got 4 years that you're stuck of guaranteed money. Even if you're only guaranteeing 3 years, you're still stuck for 4 because you picked up the 5th-year option. Go look at Russell Wilson's contract. Do you know his new contract don't start until this year, 2024? His new contract doesn't even start until this year. When they extended him, he had 2 years left on his deal when they gave him the big extension. And he just played those 2 years, and now the contract is the 5-year contract starts in 24. They're screwed. So when they move on, they're just gonna have to bite the bullet. They're gonna beg to find a Baker Mayfield, a guy they could pay $5 million, but he can perform like that. Herbert hasn't won a playoff game either, and no one is saying it about it. Exactly. Ain't that funny? There's a reason. That's why. Because when people see Herbert throwing on the outside between defenders and all of that good stuff, and I saw a stat the other day. See, everybody want to make it seem like it's the team around Tua. Guys got hurt, and that's what the issue was, right? But then when the Chargers give up less than 28 points, Herbert is like 26-6 or something like that. When the Chargers give up less than, like, if you're giving up more than 28 points, your defense trash. When the Chargers give up less than 28 points, Herbert is 26-6. That's why they give him leeway. You give Herbert a defense that gave 20 points up, they'd have been in the playoffs every year. Every year. And that's why if they fix that defense, they're going to be scary. And we want to talk about winners. That's all you need to know. That's why Herbert gets the excuses. That's the only reason he gets the excuses. I'm not saying that they're justified or not, but every single time they give up less than 28 points, he's 26-6. They tell you all you need to know. I agree, Utah Fins fan. It is a team game, and the quarterback is the scapegoat, unless the quarterback is one of the main reasons they're losing. Anyway, I got to get up out of here. I got the NFC North Roundtable starting in about 10 minutes. I'll be hosting that. Y'all come check it out if you want. NFC North Roundtable begins in about 10 minutes. And then we got the AFC East Roundtable at about 8 o'clock tonight. We'll be going. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Fans up no matter what. Don't sleep on that Baker Mayfield idea. I think it's genius, and it'll be good for the team. Love y'all. I'll see y'all soon. Peace. I'm out.